Massive changes to the society we've come to understand are coming.
The digital euro is on the move. The Governing Council of the ECB approved the opening of the preparation phase.
And blockchain will play an integral part in the formation of this future. Today, we are going to discuss the fourth turning, what it is, and how to lean into this transformation to change our financial futures. Welcome to the Blockchain Bunker, deep beneath the blockchain basement. I'm Drew, here to bring you the Drewth. Everyone thinks of Ray Dalio when you mention the fourth turning, but it was actually first discussed in 1997 by Neil Howe and William Strauss. Their interest explained how history moves in consistent 80-year cycles. The Revolutionary cycle from 1704 to 1794, Civil War cycle spanning from 1794 to 1865, and a cycle known as the Great Power reigned from 1865 to 1946. This comes to the millennial generation in our current position, set to last from 1946 up to 2026. Each one of these 80-year cycles is divided into 4 20-year periods known as turnings, which are defined by their generational makeup like baby boomers, Gen X, or millennials. Each generation has a slightly different take on how things should have been. These views are often shaped by the lessons learned from past wars, banking failures, supply shortages, labor shortages, and evolving needs of technological advancements as society continues to move forward. These 4 phases last roughly 20 to 22 years each and are known as the high phase, the awakening, the unraveling, and the crisis. Now let's dig into what the high phase really looks like. Historically, this spanned from 1946 up to 1966, and things were good. We saw a renaissance of new ideas emerge, advancements in tech, and a strong family unit that was the backbone of the United States. This was an era of promise and the sense of belonging. Think of the introduction of televisions, the formation of NATO, and a boom in production out of the United States, which brought immense wealth creation and comfortable living status for even an entire family that just had the father going to work at the time. The Simpsons always had it right. I miss the Simpsons intro. Homer is a G. The awakening phase spanned from 1966 up to 1984, and things start to get a little bit shakier. This is an age of euphoria and defiance. It was also represented by a Woodstock generation, protests against overextended military campaigns in Vietnam, and the end of the gold standard, which largely held fiat currency together up until 1971.
The third indispensable element in building the new prosperity is closely related to creating new jobs and halting inflation. We must protect the position of the American dollar.
Now fast forward a few decades, the unraveling era, 1984 to 2008, was reminiscent of knowing that you've taken many wrong turns and are well lost and it's too late to turn back. This age was marred by separation and anxiety. We saw the beginning of America's long drawn-out conflict begin in the Middle East, starting with the war in Iraq. A financial crisis burdened the American housing market, and the introduction of the internet and computer systems connecting people from across the globe and disconnecting people sitting across from you at the dinner table. We are now enthralled more with digital communication rather than in-person dialect. Two-income households became the norm in America. Thus, the beginning of the decay of the family unit as mom was now at work just as much as dad. This era is marked in my mind as the fall of the Twin Towers. It was in a breaking of an illusion of civility that was once held by the American people. And then we get to the crisis stage. This is a season of war and revolution. This is where institutions are destroyed and rebuilt in response to perceived threats and America's survival. We are in the making of the next World War. Extreme mental biological confusion, civil unrest in major city centers, and compliance mandates from unelected bureaucrats being tested on a sleeping giant. That giant that still remains asleep is the American people and the might there within. What may come of this ongoing period in the crisis over the next few years will be the catalyst for the great change in society that we know now. Our financial system, social interactions, human usefulness in the workplace, and many more things will continue to evolve at a rapid pace. For those people that remain asleep at the wheel, going to and from work without a second thought of the sustainability of this new normal, they're in for a rude awakening. But after the darkness of this crisis phase that we are in right now, which is slated to end by 2026 roughly, we will find the light and enter decades of imaginative and groundbreaking technologies being released. We are going to witness a digital renaissance that is powered by blockchain tech, AI, biotech, and a newfound respect for life after the ashes of this conflict turn into lush, fertile soil for these new ideas to grow upon. It is always darkest before the light, so stay focused and pay attention to how this world is shifting to change your financial future for the better. Thank you for joining us today on the Blockchain Bunker. Join us on Rumble as we shape the future and build a digital financial system that avoids the same pitfalls of our current fictional reserve banking structure.